I like to keep it life as normal as possible, and I love it, so I decided not to be in the campaign so much. Melania Trump, the wife of former President Donald Trump, has always been a mysterious figure. Her journey from a small town in Europe to the White House has intrigued many. People have often speculated about her marriage and her true story. Now, at 54, Melania is ready to talk about her past and confirm what many have only guessed. What secrets will she reveal? How might these revelations change our view of the Trump family and their time in the White House? Melania Trump was born as Melania Knauss on April 26, 1970, in what is now Slovenia. She grew up in a different world from the glamorous lifestyle she would later lead. Her father, Viktor Knauss, started as a chauffeur before moving into car part sales. His ties with the League of Communists of Yugoslavia likely helped the family in some ways. Her mother, Amalia, worked as a pattern maker at a children's clothing company called Jutran in their hometown of Sevnica. The Knauss family lived in state-run housing, which was common in communist countries. Despite this, their apartment was relatively nice, with brightly colored walls that stood out from the usual dull interiors of that era. Even though the Communist Party officially promoted atheism, Melania and her older sister Ines were secretly baptized as Catholics. This was a common practice in Yugoslavia at the time, showing the gap between state policies and personal beliefs. The family also had an older half-brother from Melania's father's previous relationship, but she never met him. From a young age, Melania was involved in the fashion world. Sevnica, her hometown, was known for its textile industry, and as the daughter of a factory worker, she often took part in children's fashion shows. These early runway experiences likely sparked her interest in modeling. Melania developed a passion for fashion early on, customizing and sewing her own clothes by watching her mother. This hands-on learning helped her understand garment design and construction, which benefited her modeling career later. Melania valued education from a young age. She did well in school and was even chosen as the school treasurer. When she was a teenager, her family moved to a 2-story house in Sevnica, improving their living conditions. Despite living under communist rule, Melania was drawn to American culture early on. She saw Ronald Reagan's presidency as a sign of change for her country and was intrigued by global politics and the U.S. The launch of CNN International in 1985 gave her family a glimpse of American media, increasing her interest in the Western world. At 15, Melania took a major step by moving to Ljubljana, Slovenia's capital, to attend the secondary school for design and photography. This required her to travel daily by train from Sevnica. After her first year, she and her sister Ines moved to Ljubljana permanently, which brought her closer to her future career in fashion. After graduating at 19, she started studying design at the Faculty of Architecture and Civil and Geodetic Engineering. However, her modeling career soon became her main focus. There has been some controversy about her educational background. During her husband's presidential campaign, Melania claimed to have a degree in architecture from a Slovenian university. But reporters have not been able to verify this or find evidence of more than 1 year of college attendance. Melania's journey was unexpected. She went from customizing clothes in a state-run apartment to appearing on magazine covers in the high fashion world. What challenges did this ambitious Slovenian face in the modeling industry? Let's find out. Melania's modeling career started when she was just 5 years old. But it wasn't until she was 16 that her talent was truly noticed. Slovenian fashion photographer Stane Jerko discovered her at a school fashion show, which marked the start of her professional modeling career. Originally, Melania wanted to be a fashion designer, and this early interest in design later influenced her modeling and business ventures. Her first big break came when she won a modeling contest with the Italian studio Sita, which included a movie role. However, she turned down the offer after a producer made unwanted advances. As she continued her career, Melania began using the spelling Melania Knauss and explored opportunities outside Slovenia. She traveled around Europe to find modeling jobs and build her portfolio. In 1992, she gained more recognition by being named runner-up in the Jana magazine Look of the Year contest, which offered the top contestants international modeling contracts and opened new opportunities for her. Melania signed with RVR Reclaim in Milan, but the partnership was brief, lasting only a few months. In the following years, she traveled across Europe for various modeling jobs. One notable assignment in 1993 had her playing the role of the first female president of the United States, which was strangely fitting given her future as First Lady. By the time she was 23 or 24, her career had advanced enough for her to live in Paris, where she shared an apartment with her roommate Victoria Silad and immersed herself in the fashion scene. A key moment in her career occurred in 1995 when she met Paolo Zampoli, co-owner of Metropolitan Models in Milan. Zampoli, who also knew Donald Trump, was impressed by Melania and encouraged her to move to the United States, offering to represent her there. This meeting marked a major turning point in her career and life. In 1996, at 26, Melania moved to Manhattan. Zampoli helped her settle in, arranging for her to share an apartment with photographer Matthew Atanian in Zindorf Towers in Union Square. Her rent was taken from her earnings with Zampoli's agency, which was a typical setup for new models. Unlike many of her modeling peers, Melania led a disciplined lifestyle, carefully managing her diet and avoiding the party scene. Her first few weeks in the U.S. were tough because her travel visa did not allow her to work. Despite this, she took on 10 modeling jobs, earning around $20,000. Later, she obtained an H-1B visa that allowed her to work legally. There has been some scrutiny over this period with questions about the legality of her early work in the U.S. Melania's big break came when she starred in a Camel cigarette ad. This ad, photographed by Ellen von Unwerth, was shown on a Times Square billboard and in Rolling Stone magazine. This major exposure greatly increased her visibility in the modeling industry. The chance came because a law required cigarette ads to feature people over 25, which made it harder for younger models to get such opportunities. As Melania's career advanced, she moved to a nicer apartment off Park Avenue, reflecting her growing success. Her experience in modeling showed she was comfortable in the spotlight and skilled at handling media attention traits that would be important in her future roles as a high-profile businessman's wife and later as First Lady of the United States. Little did she know that modeling would eventually lead her to the White House, but what challenges did she face in becoming a U.S. citizen? And the wife of the 45th President, Melania Trump, has said that becoming a U.S. citizen is the greatest privilege on earth, showing how much she values her new country. Her path to American citizenship was closely linked to her personal and professional life in the U.S. She started the citizenship process in 2001 when she got a green card. This card, also known as a permanent resident card, allowed her to live and work in the United States permanently. However, there has been some controversy about how she got this green card. Some people have questioned whether she properly qualified for the EB-1 visa, sometimes called the Einstein visa. This visa is meant for people with exceptional skills, like top academics, leading business executives, or Olympic athletes. Since Melania was mainly a model, some have wondered if her achievements really met the high requirements for this visa. Melania kept building her life in the U.S. despite many questions. In 2006, she reached a big milestone by becoming a U.S. citizen. This happened the same year she gave birth to her son, Barron Trump. At the same time, her husband, Donald Trump, was starting to seriously think about running for president. The timing of her citizenship is important because it happened before her husband's political plans took shape. This meant her immigration status wouldn't be an issue in any future campaigns. Melania's citizenship story highlights a curious aspect of U.S. immigration policy. As a naturalized citizen, she could sponsor her parents, Viktor and Melania Knauss, to immigrate to the U.S. This process is called chain migration, a system Donald Trump criticized during his presidency. The Knauss immigration became a topic of interest because while the administration aimed to limit family-based immigration, Melania's parents were benefiting from it. They became U.S. citizens in 2018. During Trump's presidency, Melania stood out among first ladies as the second foreign-born woman in the role after Louisa Adams, who was born in England. She was also the first naturalized citizen to become First Lady. Her immigrant background drew both interest and controversy. On one hand, her story is a classic American dream. An immigrant who came to the U.S., built a successful career, and reached a high position. On the other hand, her husband's strict immigration policies created a complex and sometimes uncomfortable contrast with her immigrant roots. Even after becoming a U.S. citizen, she and her son Baron kept their Slovenian citizenship. This dual citizenship shows the complex nature of immigrant identities, as people often keep ties to their homeland while embracing their new country. Melania often talked about her immigration journey, highlighting the legal steps she took to become a citizen. Her story has been used to both praise and criticize parts of the U.S. immigration system, depending on who is talking. As First Lady, Melania's immigrant background gave her a special viewpoint in the White House. She had the potential to bridge cultural gaps and share her immigrant experience at the highest government level. However, there has been debate about how much she actually used this background in her role. Melania and Trump met for the first time in September 1998 at a New York party. Paolo Zampoli, a mutual friend, introduced them while Trump was with another date. Despite this, Trump showed interest in Melania and asked for her number. She boldly refused and asked for his number instead. Impressed by her confidence, Trump gave her multiple personal numbers. Their first date happened a week later, with Melania keeping a cool attitude to keep Trump interested. She noticed similarities between Trump and her father, which may have made her more comfortable in the relationship. Their romance faced some bumps. They briefly broke up when Melania saw Trump's ex, Kara Young, leaving Trump Tower, but they got back together within a week. Dating Trump brought Melania new opportunities and connections. His fame opened doors for her career, and she found him more respectful than other men in the modeling industry. Their relationship became public in 1999 when they appeared on Howard Stern's show answering bold questions. This marked the start of increased media attention for Melania. As their relationship grew, Trump often took Melania to business meetings to show off her, but he kept her away from the actual business matters due to past issues with his first wife. In October 1999, Trump announced he was running for the Reform Party presidential nomination. Melania supported him, seeing herself in a traditional First Lady role like Betty Ford or Jackie Kennedy. The idea of a model becoming First Lady caught a lot of media attention. Their relationship hit a major bump in January 2000 when news of their breakup surfaced. There were mixed reports about who ended it, but they stayed in touch and got back together a few months later. In 2001, Melania received her green card, securing her status in the U.S. The next year, she moved in with Trump at Trump Tower. Trump proposed to Melania on her birthday, April 26, 2004, as they were heading to the Met Gala. He later said her lack of pressure for marriage made him more willing to commit and credited her influence for his recent successes. Melania proved more compatible with Trump than his previous wives, supporting him quietly while staying confident. For the wedding, Melania went to Paris with Anna Wintour and André Leon to pick wedding dress, choosing one by John Galliano. She appeared on the cover of Vogue in the dress, creating excitement before the wedding. The couple married on January 22, 2005, at the Bethesda by the Sea Church in Palm Beach, Florida. They had a lavish reception at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, planned by Melania and event coordinator Preston Bailey. Many celebrities, musicians, athletes, media executives, and TV personalities attended. Melania's sister Inez was her only bridesmaid. After the wedding, the Trumps split their time between three homes: Trump Tower in New York, Trump National Golf Club in New Jersey, and Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Melania had a private spa built on the top floor of Trump Tower for her use. The couple didn't spend much direct time together, preferring to live near each other, but separately. Trump said this worked for him, since he didn't want to work on a relationship when he came home. Melania accepted this, taking care of Trump without seeing herself as a gold digger. At Trump property events, Melania often made brief appearances before going back to their private residence. She didn't push Trump to learn her native language and described herself as not a nagging wife. Melania Trump's pregnancy announcement quickly became a media sensation, leading to her second Vogue cover. The photo shoot, where she posed pregnant in a bikini and open coat, boldly combined her modeling past with her new role as an expectant mother. During her pregnancy, Melania focused on family. She spent a lot of time with her sister, who moved to New York to be closer to her, and her parents visited, often providing strong support as she prepared for motherhood. This period helped her reconnect with her roots while starting this new life chapter. Melania took charge of setting up a nursery in Trump Tower, showing her dedication to being an involved parent from the start. A memorable event during her pregnancy was her baby shower at FAO Schwartz Toy Store. In a move foreshadowing her future philanthropic efforts, as First Lady Melania insisted that all the toys and gifts be donated to a children's hospital. This decision reflected her sense of social responsibility and her desire to use her position to help others. On March 20, 2006, Melania and Donald Trump welcomed their son, Baron William Trump. They chose his name together. Donald picked the first name, and Melania chose the middle name. Donald had previously used Baron as a pseudonym when posing as his own public relations agent, adding a personal touch to their son's name. After Baron was born, Melania's life changed significantly. She became very involved in raising him and stepped back from many public events she used to attend with her husband. This decision showed her commitment to hands-on parenting and her desire to provide a stable, nurturing environment for Baron despite their high-profile life. One standout aspect of her motherhood was her minimal use of nannies. Unlike many in her social circle, she insisted on raising Baron herself, with only occasional help in his early years. This hands-on approach to parenting set her apart and showed her dedication to being actively involved in her son's life. Melania's commitment to motherhood matched Donald Trump's expectations. He had made it clear that he would not be actively involved in daily child-rearing tasks. Melania agreed with this, saying she didn't want him changing diapers or putting Baron to bed. This setup worked well for both of them, with Melania taking on the main caregiving role. As Baron grew, Melania focused more on motherhood and spent less time in the public eye. This change affected her relationship with Donald, and reports suggest he began seeing other women during this time, which made Melania uncomfortable. However, she was reportedly unaware of the women who later claimed to have had affairs with him. Melania also took on the role of stepmother to Donald's 4 children from previous marriages: Donald Jr., Eric and Ivanka from his first marriage to Ivana Trump, and Tiffany from his second marriage to Marla Maples. Melania formed a strong bond with Tiffany, who was just 6 when Melania started dating Donald. She made sure Tiffany felt included with her step-siblings, showing her commitment to blending their family. Melania also created a multicultural environment for Baron, teaching him both English and Slovenian, her native language. Her experiences as a mother influenced her work as First Lady. Her focus on child welfare was evident in her Be Best initiative. Melania's dedication to parenting was clear even in the White House, as she postponed moving to Washington, D.C. to let Baron finish his school year in New York. In 2010, Melania entered the business world by launching her own jewelry line, Melania Timepieces and Jewelry. This move showed her entrepreneurial spirit and strong sense of design. The collection available on QVC included a variety of costume jewelry and fashion watches priced between $30 and $200, making it affordable for many people. Melania chose not to use the Trump name for her brand, aiming to build her own identity, apart from her husband's famous surname. She corrected reporters who called it Melania Trump to highlight her independent business venture. Melania's design process was influenced by the cities she had lived in: New York, Palm Beach, and Paris. This gave her designs a unique mix of sophistication and personal experience. Her first collection sold out quickly, showing that her designs were well received and in demand. This success proved her ability to understand fashion trends and connect with customers. Melania kept building on her success with her jewelry line, continuing to release new collections that customers loved. In 2011, she decided to expand her business by entering the skincare industry with a new line of caviar-infused products called Melania Mark Skincare. This move showed her ambition and understanding of the luxury beauty market. Using caviar, a luxury ingredient in food, was meant to make her skincare products stand out. However, Melania faced challenges when launching this new line. There was a legal dispute with New Sunshine, the company set to manufacture and sell her products. New Sunshine had management changes and canceled the contract, claiming a former executive had given the Trumps special treatment. Melania sued for $50 million in lost revenue, reflecting the high stakes and her commitment to protecting her business. The case was eventually settled in her favor, but the exact amount was not made public. Even with legal challenges, Melania showed her business skills and how she used her public profile to create successful products. By using only her first name for branding, she aimed to build her own identity. As her focus shifted more to family and motherhood, she decided to end her jewelry line. This decision reflected her changing priorities and the difficulty of balancing business with personal life. Although her business ventures were relatively brief, they highlighted her creativity and business acumen beyond her modeling and public roles. These experiences likely influenced her later work as First Lady, including her public image and choice of causes. Her background in branding and design helped her in the White House, from shaping her public persona to supporting specific initiatives. Her business experiences gave her a deeper understanding of the entrepreneurial spirit and economic issues, enriching her perspective during her time as First Lady. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching.